Bright Tuty. Every student matters.
Hello friends, I am Shilpi Arora. So in this class, we'll be discussing about why democracy. As we seen in the previous class that definition of democracy, rulers elected by the people take all major decisions that we have seen. Now we'll see why do we need to have democracy, and to answer this why question, we have two aspects, positive and negative. It means we'll see the arguments against democracy and arguments in favor of democracy, and after discussing these two aspects, then we'll conclude which is the better form of government or why do we need to have democracy. So let's have a quick look of the arguments against democracy. See the first argument. Leaders keep changing leads to instability. Yes, leaders keep on changing. Like in our country, every after 5 years we have election. And sometime it also happened that before 5 years government collapse due to the no confidence motion. Yes, so people who are not in favor of democracy, they believe that because leaders keep on changing, it leads to instability. Because of democracy, there can be instability. So they are not in favor of democratic government. Another justification, the people who are not in favor of democracy is that it is all about competition and power play. It is all about competition and power play. It means that everybody wanted to just win the election, and for winning election there is no scope for morality. They don't believe in some of the principles, the moral values, and that is why they just concentrate on winning election. Okay, so they say it is all about competition, power play. Everybody is greedy about power, can go to any extent to grab that power. So no morality, no moral values, no ethics, nothing is there against democracy. And another justification, people who are not in favor of democracy, they say many people have to be consulted. That leads to delays in decision making. Yes, because in democracy there is deliberations, discussions, and people who are against democracy, they believe that if so much time is taken to take a decision, that it delays the decision making. Sometimes some policy needs to be made immediately, but because of democracy, because of discussions and deliberation, it creates a lot of delays, and they are not in favor of those delays. That is why they are not in favor of democracy. Another demerit, another argument against democracy, elected leaders do not know the best interest of the people, leads to bad decisions. So people say that if whenever we choose some leaders, might be those elected leaders, they are not very knowledgeable. They must not be aware about the best interest of the people. So if they are not aware about the best interest of the people, it can lead to bad decisions. So the rulers which are chosen by the people that we have seen in democracy, they are not good policy makers as being told by the people who are against democracy. Okay, another justification by people who are against democracy is that democracy leads to corruption, as it is based on electoral competition. It is based on electoral competition. Yes, I told you, for winning, sometime they do some wrong practices, corruption, use of money and muscle power. To win election, they just use money, because their ultimate goal is to win the election. And that is why people who are against democracy says that democracy is not the good form of government. They favor dictatorship. But there is another point of view, there is another side of a coin. Now we'll see some of the positive aspects. Because if we are considering why do we need democracy, so under why, there can be people who are in favor or there can be people who are against. So just now we discussed about the people who are against democracy.